40% of people diagnosed with cancer lose their life savings, study says. It seemed odd to me. So let's go where I'm going with this, because I think a lot of people, you guys watching this, your biggest concern about why you can't retire is because of long-term care stuff. And I've already debunked all that. We're going to debunk this too. It seems weird. Because, like, really, 40% of people diagnosed with cancer lose their life savings, and basically 40% of the population is diagnosed with cancer. That seems odd to me. So anyway, let's dive into this. So I was reading the Scientific American, the cancer industry hype versus reality, and I found this through BlueRockwell.com. What if cancer what if cancer was already cured? Very interesting. He says cancer cure is a business. And any dent in the volume of care, 1.7 million diagnosed a year, would financially threaten a $175 billion industry. Modern medicine can't afford to cure cancer, says a striking report, which we just talked about, from Scientific American. We're going to circle around and we're going to debunk the claim, though. So I'm a huge fan of BlueRockwell.com. Anti-state, anti-war, pro-market, 100%, man. Very interesting. He talks about, right in here, Dr. Yamamoto, who says, we talk about right here, the MAF is the macrophages activating factor, essentially disarming the large army reserve macrophages that would normally engulf and kill viruses and tumor cells. Very interesting. Dr. Yamamoto published 4 papers that revealed MAF therapy could cure colon, breast, prostate, and lung cancer, with remissions lasting 4 to 7 years. Similar studies produced the same result. Modern medicine wasn't ready to accept the doctor, though, definition of a cure, all right? But alleged deficiencies in his research papers resulted in his work being discredited. Where have we heard that before? Some of his published papers were retracted, such as the fate of anyone who cures cancer, 100%. But anyway, hold on a second. Led me to here, Scientific American, and this guy, John Horgan, who wrote just last year in February, The Cancer Industry, Hype versus Reality. It's very interesting, actually. You should read this. Big problem, big business, big hype. But anyway, so I was reading this, and I saw, let's go to Control F. There we go. We're going to hit 40. The cost of cancer care has surged 40% in the last decade, from $125 billion to $175 billion today. Oh, by the way, we haven't done anything in mortality. Basically, the mortality rate for dying from cancer is essentially the same as what it was in 1930. The one thing we've succeeded in is getting people not to smoke. That's it. All right, anyway, let's keep going. I thought that was interesting. More than 40% of people diagnosed with cancer lose their life savings within 2 years, according to this study. I said, oh, that's interesting. So I want to read that. That's what I love about the web. It's just the hyperlinks. Death or debt. National estimates of financial toxicity in persons with newly diagnosed cancer. I said, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that before, but that's kind of alarming, right? 40% of people diagnosed with cancer lose their life savings, and I can only get the abstract. I'm not going to buy this thing for $39. But anyway, they looked at HRS, the Health Retirement Study from the University of Michigan, from 1998 to 2014. Persons who are over than 50 with newly diagnosed malignancies were included, excluding minor skin cancers. Multivariable generalized linear models assess changes in net worth and debt at 2 and 4 years after diagnoses. Let's see. A 2-year period before cancer diagnosis served as a historical control. Results: across 9.5 million estimated new diagnoses of cancer between 2000 and 2012, individuals averaged 68 years, with slight majorities being married, non-retired, and Medicare beneficiaries. At year 2, 42% depleted their entire life's assets, with higher adjusted odds associated with worsening cancer. Interesting. So they're looking at 9.5 million estimated new diagnoses of cancer. And they said of those 9.5, 42.4% depleted their entire life's assets. And yet they say average losses were 92,000. So I was like, well, that's average again. You're skewing it way to the high side. It should do median, not average. But okay, so 92,000. And I say, let's see, 42. Their entire life's assets. I don't know about a home. I don't know if it's financial assets or just everything. I don't know. Conclusion, this naturally representative investigation, initially 9.5 million newly diagnosed persons with cancer, found a significant proportion incurring financial toxicity. Toxicity. As large financial burdens have been found to adversely affect access to care and outcomes among cancer patients. All right, so but then I said, that's interesting. That just seemed odd to me. 9.5 million people were estimated. 42% lost their entire life savings. So I just started doing some research. And I came across this from the National Cancer Institute. Financial toxicity in cancer treatment. This is just from the other day, not the other day, like last year, where the other paper was from 2000. I think this was written in 2010. Where was it? 2018. But I think it was actually, I think they researched, 2018, but it's from data from 1998 to 2014. All right, that's fine. So I came over here, financial toxicity. I have a hard time. I'm from Maine, folks. Deal with it. All right. Us Mainers, we don't care. We don't even pronounce our R's. We say park the car. And then when we say idea, so we put an R in for idea. There's no R in idea, but we do. In Maine, we say idea. Like people in North Carolina, Washington. I'm going to Washington. Where's the R come from? Anyway, so we're going to go here from the National Cancer Institute, and we're going to come down to, hold on just a second. Pretty interesting. Incidence and prevalence of bankruptcy. One of the few studies to measure the incidence of financial hardship reported that 1.7% of cancer survivors filed for bankruptcy in the 5 years after diagnosis. Cancer survivors were 2.7 times more likely to file for bankruptcy than individuals without cancer history. Others have reported a prevalence of bankruptcy ranging from 1.2% to 3% of the study population of cancer of survivors. That's a whole lot different than the other articles. Some cancer survivors have suggested that between 33 and 80% of the survivors have used savings to finance medical expenses. Okay. And between 2 and 34% have borrowed money to pay for their care. In a study with women with breast cancer, self-reported data by race and ethnicity, in a study of colon cancer survivors in Washington State, the mean debt among the survivors was $26,000. To cope with expenses, cancer survivors have reporting decreasing spending on leisure activities. Okay, that's all right. Several studies have reported the prevalence of asset depletion and medical debt for cancer survivors. Although this information is rarely reported in relation to individuals without a cancer history or before and after a cancer diagnosis. Furthermore, most estimates are based on self-report and little validation work has been conducted. Did you hear that? Several studies have reported the prevalence of asset depletion and medical debt for cancer survivors. Although this information is rarely reported in relations to individuals without a cancer history or before and after a cancer diagnosis. Furthermore, most estimates are based on self-report and little validation work has been conducted. So at the end of the day, you got again, this is the problem with academia. They're just trying to get clicks. I'm not saying the study's wrong. I'm not paying $40 to read it. Actually, let's see what kind of, hold on a second. Let's go back here. We're going to go, because to get that study had to spend, I'm not going to do that. But let's see what kind of comments we had in here. I don't know if we're going to have any. Yeah, we got 17 comments. Okay. You sound as though you have an axe to grind. I believe the article is a very good description of the force that one can get malignant by somebody may answer. Okay. Precisely the hype discussed in the article. It's been going on a long time with rare beneficial results. 100%, man. I think I read the article and say the vast majority. Well, I'll let you read it. Great article. I agree with their premise. Until this year, a new immunotherapy for cancer with almost no side effects will change everything in cancer treatment. Finance Yahoo. Well, if it's on Yahoo, it's got to be right? Let's see. Here's the link. Okay. Mammography yearly after age 40 saves 1,190 lives per 100,000 screened. Overdiagnosis refers to detection of a cancer that would not become clinically evident in a patient's lifetime. The best designed studies confirm that only 1 to 10% of breast cancers diagnosed by screening represent overdiagnosis. All right. For women in their 40s, All right, I don't understand what they're saying. The mammography information is misleading. Is this the same person? Yeah, it is. Many randomized RCTs have proven that mammograph screening saves lives for women. I'm in the pathology side of medicine. I think that's an excellent summary of the state of affairs. There's an awful amount of money to be made in treating cancer. Now, the issue about this was overdiagnosis. So let's we're gonna go to over right there. Test lead to overdiagnosis and overtreatment. The cancer industry, aided by celebrities who claim that tests save their lives, have convinced the public that screening for cancer is beneficial. The earlier we can detect cancerous cells, the more likely it is that treatment will succeed, right? Wrong. One of the most significant findings of the past decade is that many people with cancerous or precancerous cells that, if left untreated, would never have compromised their health. Autopsies. I'm having a hard time pronouncing that word. I'm getting an have revealed that many people who died of unrelated causes harbor cancerous tissue. Autopsies. Autopsies have revealed that many people who die of unrelated causes harbor cancerous tissue. Sounds like something with the current Wuhan flu. Tests cannot reliably distinguish between harmful and harmless cancers. As a result, widespread testing has led to widespread overdiagnosis, the flagging of non-harmful cancerous cells. Overdiagnosis leads in turn to unnecessary chemo, radiation, surgery. Gilbert Welch, a physician whose 2011 book Overdiagnosis helped bring overdiagnosis to light. He recently called it an unfortunate side effect of irrational exuberance for early detection. Yep. Overdiagnosis is more insidious than false positives. When tests erroneously indicate the presence of cancer, biopsies can overturn false positives but not overdiagnosis. Anyway, the point being is, when it comes to stuff, when it comes to your retirement plan, you're going to read these studies and you're going to freak out. And then I hope you do some research before you say, oh my goodness, I can have all these long-term care costs, because you just don't. I mean, some people do, the vast majority don't. I hope you do some studies that said if I get diagnosed with cancer, there's a good chance I'll go bankrupt. Is that true? So you got to figure this stuff out for yourself before you let the fearmongers determine your destiny. All right, we'll see you.